When you guys think of big names in sports, who are some people you think of?
Tom Brady,
Kobe Bryant,
LeBron James,
Michael Jordan,
Steph
Michael
Curry.
Phelps.
A lot of different names, a lot of big names, which are all rightful to name. There's also a name, though, that I want to talk about today that I think definitely should be included in that conversation. His name is Roger Federer. Roger Federer is a tennis player, and he's been playing tennis for the last 20 years in the ATP World Tour, which is the Association of Tennis Players. Now, I'll be very honest. I consider myself a huge sports fan all my life. I love sports. It's what I live for. But I haven't spent a lot of time paying attention to tennis. I see it every once in a while on Sports Center. I definitely always see the name Federer. I knew who he was. But I didn't really take the time to study his game or the things that he's done that are really remarkable. But in preparation for this, I really have done a lot of studying to come to know the amazing things that he does as an athlete and the inspiration that he brings to so many people. The three things that I really want to mention that he has is his raw talent, the records that he holds, and his longevity. His skill really is so high, and I want to start out with talking about that, the raw talent that he has. At the age of 16, Roger Federer made it onto the ATP World Tour. That's extremely young for a professional athlete, especially when it comes to tennis. By the time of 18 years old, he had actually taken fourth place in the ATP World Tour, only 2 years after entering. His skill has been recognized by a lot of different people, one of them being his biggest competitor over his career, pretty much, which is a man named Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal is from Spain. He actually, I'm going to share a quote here. He doesn't have the clearest English, but he is able to answer about the talent that he's seen in Roger Federer. A reporter asked him, if you had to say what is the one thing about Roger's game that makes him so special, what would you say if you had to boil it down? Rafael Nadal responded with a smile on his face and said everything. He said that he has talent to do every difficult thing that looks easy, He's able to take the ball very early, serve, and first shot. He creates a lot of winners with that, with the first two shots, And that's, and then he's able to take the ball always from inside, and he's very quick going to the net. If you play short ball, then then he's going to go inside and going to hit a winner. I'm going to play a shot that hit with forehand or backhand to the net, and you're going to be in big trouble. Like I say, kind of has broken English, but he talks about the talent that he has and the different array of moves that he has. Another former competitor that he's had is a man named Andy Roddick, who is considered pretty much the best tennis player from the United States in the last 20 years. Andy Roddick had an amazing serve and was able to do a lot in his professional career. He talks about him and says that regarding to Roger, according to Zach's blog, which is a tennis blog, he says, I think he's a generational talent if his body holds up. He's got so many different options in terms of how he can play with the spin, serve, and volleying, and staying back. It's not that surprising to me. I love that he's able to recognize that talent and talk about how he's just been able to do it for so long. It's not really too surprising anymore. It's so true. He's been able to do that his entire career. He's been known for being able to hit the forehand, the backhand. A volley is when it's hit over and you hit it without it bouncing. There's been many times where people have actually hit it over his head thinking that they've won the match, and he's chased it down, hit it between his legs, and it's hit the person in the back, and he's won the match because of it. He's very, very talented in so many different ways. And this has led to the records that he holds. Now, there's something that we call a Grand Slam tournament in tennis. There's 4 of them that happen each year. They're called majors. And Roger Federer has won 19, and he's appeared in 29 of them. He's got a great winning percentage for tennis players. He actually leads that out of any tennis player that's ever played in the ATP World Tour. The next closest is Rafael Nadal, who's won 15 out of 21. He's definitely been able to do a lot himself. But he's also won 3 out of 4 Grand Slams in a year 3 times. which is another record that he holds. He's won 5 consecutive wins in 2 Grand Slams, one of them being the Wimbledon, where he's won for 5 years in a row. He won from 2003 to 2007, and the U.S. Open he won 2004 to 2008. He also has appeared in 20 consecutive semifinals when it comes to Grand Slams, which is another amazing record. But the most amazing record that he has is he was ranked number 1. He's been ranked number 1 over 300 weeks and 237 weeks. He was ranked consecutively number 1 in a row. That's more than any other athlete ever has, and that's almost 5 years. Now, if you compare that to other sports, there hasn't been a basketball team in the NBA, a football team in the NFL who has won for 5 years in a row. He's the one athlete that's been able to do that in his sport in the last 20 years. And his last record leads into the longevity in which he has as a tennis player. He's 36 years old right now. Last year, when he was 35, and he had a knee injury, he was able to come back and he won the Wimbledon Cup, which is one of the majors. He won that at the age of 35, and he was the oldest player to actually win a tennis tournament or one of the Grand Slam tournaments in 40 years. That made him also the most winningest person when it came to the Wimbledon. He's won 8 times at that tournament. No other player has ever done that. He's also, right now, currently ranked number 2 in the world at the age of 36. The only person that's ahead of him right now is Rafael Nadal. I'm sure he'll catch up. And the few injuries that he has faced, he's always been able to overcome. He faced the injury of his back when in the year 2013, and in the year of 2015 is when he had that knee surgery that he had to have, and he was trying to actually nurse it and come back to a major, but then he went to go practice and realized it wasn't a smart idea, so he chose to sit out, and later on he wins the Wimbledon. But all these wonderful things that he's been able to do in his career really show how talented he is. And in concluding, as we look at his raw talent, his records, and the longevity that he's shown in his career, we can really come to appreciate the wonderful athlete that he is. I know that it's definitely something that I've come to appreciate, and everybody can recognize his talent, at least, even if we're not tennis fans. So next time when you're flipping through a television and you do see a tennis match and you see the name Federer, I hope you take the time to watch it, because you just might be watching history. Thank you. Now I got to show you guys off. So, here's everybody. Hello. Say hi.
Hey.
Hello. Awesome. Thanks so much.